computer and then share screen. I want to see if anybody has come up with a creative sequence, an arithmetic sequence. Who has come up with a creative arithmetic sequence? Something that nobody really thinks about, something, or maybe something that's a little unusual. I'm lowering all hands now. I want everybody to please unmute yourself right now, please. Let's see, mute all, and we definitely want to allow participants to do that. Cancel that. More. I don't know why I don't have an unmute button. Yeah, I need Omer to unmute himself and Andy to unmute himself, please. Andy, unmute, and Omer, excellent. Wow, everybody's doing really, really well. All right, so I need you guys to raise your hand to share with me a very interesting sequence of numbers, something we haven't seen before. An interesting sequence of arithmetic numbers. Who's got something cool? Like nobody has any ideas, nothing to share. Nobody did arithmetic sequences last week that they want to share. That was interesting. Nobody? All right. Well, I'll share with you one that I really love. And mine came out of two other sequences. So one sequence I want to talk about are multiples of 3, and the other one are multiples of 7. Omer, are you with us here? Okay, good. And Andy, if you could also join us, that'd be great. So if I wanted to use 3 and 7, what do you think I might use as my sequence? What might be an interesting sequence using 3 and 7 together? Multiples of what, guys? Any ideas? I mean, what do 3 and 7 speak to you guys about? Remember that it's both a multiple of 3 and 7, and then we could create a multiple of those numbers. Does anybody know a common multiple of 3 and 7? And the lowest one is what I am looking for. I've got
21.
For you guys, raise your hand electronically. I've got 1, I've got 2. Isabella, go for it.
21.
And I completely agree. Now, everybody, let us create a sequence of numbers of 21 and look for patterns. Okay, go, fast, go. 21.
21, 42,
84.
63.
84. 84.
Keep going.
84.
105.
Keep going.
126.
126.
147.
168,
189.
189.
210.
and 10.
Now, let's stop right there. Those are the first 10 multiples of 21. Does anybody see anything interesting that they want to share? Any connections that we can make? I'm going to start with Hannah.
Well, for the ones in the ones column, it's 1 through 10. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And then for the ones it's even, it was even numbers, it's not anymore, but it's all, and then it's all even numbers there except for the last one.
So you mean that the tens place are all even numbers up to 210, and the ones place are all consecutive whole numbers from 1 to 10, essentially. Rafa, what do you see?
Yeah, I see the same thing, except that I saw that the same thing in the ones column. I saw it was just even numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 in the 10th column.
Now, let me ask you, Cameron, do you see, and Isabella and anyone else, what's going to happen after 210? Come on, after 210, keep going.
Go
Come on, Andy, let's go.
231.
It's just we start.
272.
2,
273. 294.
305.
351. 300. 6. 103. 5. 7.
7,
3. 7.
8,
3.
9,
9.
98.
And then 4.
400.
1. 0. 2, 0.
Now, Hannah, what Hannah saw in the ones column, doesn't that continue indefinitely? But what happens to the tens? Who can make an observation about Cameron?
It goes all the odds to 9.
And are all the tens actually odd numbers? I mean, 21 all the way to set 39. And what happens, Isabella, after 39?
It turns back to even.
Right. It's a look, guys. I look for very, very strange sequences of numbers, and I think 21 is one of the more interesting sequences of numbers. And I would like you guys to look for them as well, because they're all over the place. Now, if I asked you to draw a picture of this sequence, how might you do that? How might you draw a picture of this sequence of numbers? What might you do? John, do you have an idea? Not yet? I'm thinking of drawing a picture of sequence. And so let me sort of go to a page here. Now we know that we want to do, somebody's making a noise like a clicking noise, maybe they're eating or something. Whatever you're doing to make the clicking noise, if you could just wait till maybe afterwards. So when you guys look at page number 1, go to page 1 in your packet. And I think you will see that this is a,
differently. If I get confused, should I just
Andrew, can you mute yourself if you're going to have a conversation, and then you can unmute when you're done with that conversation? That'd be great. And what I see, guys, I see a horizontal axis, which represents the term number of the sequence.
This is a horizontal axis.
And I see the vertical axis, which represents the value of that term. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write 21, 42, 63, 84, 105, 126. And if I wanted to write the first 6 terms of this sequence, what is wrong with my vertical axis? I have something very limiting about my vertical axis. What is the limit? What's the problem? Hannah, what do you see? What's wrong with it?
And then it goes up to 15. And the first one starts with 21, and that's more than 15.
Oh my God. So I can't even put the first number on this page.
You have to go
How
up to
can I fix it? Who has an easy way for us to fix this? Adalia, do you have an idea? Go for it.
You could change the number. You can multiply every number by 10 on the chart.
So 5 becomes what?
50.
Everybody do it. 10 becomes what?
100.
100.
And 50 becomes what?
50.
50.
Which
Now,
is 50.
Adalia, I'm going to tell you right now that what you did was very creative. Okay? I love mathematicians that can be both creative and kind of strong with their math skills. Now, I just want to give you a quick story, but I'm not going to talk about this right now because I don't know enough about it. Marie Curie in 1903 did something special. Anyone know?
Nope.
Something with math.
I would agree with that, but there's a little more going on there. And
Something with math in 1939.
I think it was 1903.
Okay.
And she was the first woman to do something really kind of cool. Does anybody know what that is? She's probably one of the most, interesting mathematicians and
Make like a
scientists. And I think I don't know, and I'm looking it up right now, that I think she is Polish. And guys, Marie Curie was the first woman to win the Nobel Prize in physics. And she won it for her work on radioactivity. Now, guys, I heard a story, I don't know if it's true, that she died because she got poisoned by the radioactive energy that she was using in her experiments. I don't know if that is true. Now, luckily, there are a lot of safety things, but guess what? Yesterday, the fourth woman in history has won the Nobel Prize in physics. And she did it because she was creative and worked really hard. And the work she did was in work with black holes, okay, in the universe. So they're all kind of out of this world. And so really cool stuff has happened. I don't want to talk about it a lot today because we could really get down that rabbit hole. But what I really love what Adalia did is she used her power of creativity to come up with. Now, guys, can you please plot all those points? The first point in our sequence is 121, which is right about there. And you could even write 1, 21. And I want you to plot all of those points right now, please. And this is not easy to do. Isabella, question.
I found, well, it's not a question. I just found like the pattern kind of.
Yeah, what is the pattern?
It's like 2 up and then turn right.
Ah, you know what it looks like, Isabella? It kind of looks like a slope of 2,
Yeah.
where you rise 2 and you run 1 to the right, doesn't it kind of look like that? But don't we really rise by 21 and run 1 to the right? So Isabella, you're right in that's what it looks like. But remember what Adalia did. She made each of these little increments equal to 10. So it's a little bit deceiving when you look at it and it looks like a slope of 2, but it's really a slope of 21. Now, how many of you see that these points are in a straight what? Go for it. Say it out loud.
Line.
Yeah. Guys, these points are in a straight line that will continue on till infinity. Yes, Adalia, go for it.
Nothing. I just started raising my hand and forgot it was up there.
Oh, okay. No problem. So guys, you just drew a picture of the sequence of numbers that is one of my favorites. You just drew a picture. Now, I'm not going to have you do what the youngers did. The younger guys on page 2, they drew a picture of an arithmetic sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is something you can do if you wish, but notice it's also a beautifully straight line. And then what would happen if you drew a picture of this one on page 4? Would it also be a beautiful straight line?
Yes.
And that one would look something like this. And you could spend time on that during the week and plot it out and draw a picture. Now, this one is more difficult. Everybody go to page 6, please. The one on page 6 is more difficult because of the way the vertical line, the vertical axis, and the horizontal axis work. Horizontal axis seems to be working okay here, but the vertical axis is a little bit more challenging. So I am going to plot the first point for you on the graph. And I will also name that point. I will actually label it as the first term, which is a 1. And I want you to plot the second point, which is going to be point 2, and the value of it is 3. But I'm not going to tell you where it goes. And I want you to plot all 15 points, please. Once you see the pattern, it should go rather fast. Rafa, do you have a question?
So I actually put the first term at where this where the 0th term is. So
Oh, interesting.
is that okay?
Well, it's okay. Leave what you had. Do not erase it. And now draw the first term at 1, 1.
Also, there's a
And,
song outside.
and Rafa, see what it looks like if you leave both lines on your page. It'll be beautiful. You'll really like it. Isabella, go for it. Question.
For mine, I'm pretty sure I think I know where it goes, but I'm not that quite sure.
Can I see what you did?
I don't know if you could see that, but
Ooh, that's nice. And Isabella, can you tell me what is the point that is associated with the 15 on the x-axis?
it's
So 15 comma what?
would become it would become
Andy and Tessa, I just want you to unmute yourself. So if you raise your hand, we can hear you because I can't see you.
okay.
And that's okay. You don't have to show video, but I just want you to
Okay.
go for it. And Isabella, what did you figure out what 15 is?
Is it
Oh, Andy, hi. So good to see you.
actually?
You
I
unmute
did not
yourself.
figure it out.
Andy, unmute yourself. You as well, Hannah and Rafa and Adalia and Isabella. And Alexander and Cameron. Everyone unmute themselves.
I know what it is.
Okay, who's got 15, guys? Go. Say it out loud. Anyone can say it. Cameron can say it. Anybody who's got it.
1,
We don't.
15. 15 would be right there.
Trying to think, but
It would be 5, 4-ish. 2.
Anybody have an idea? Isabella, did you stop thinking about that one? Adalia, what do you have for us?
So 15.
Adalia, you're now muted, so I can't hear you.
Is it
And
31?
I can't, can you show me your chin so I can see your mouth moving and then I can hear you much better? And because you're muted, it's impossible to hear you. That's much better.
I see it in the chat. Can you hear me now?
Now it's perfect. Just don't hit the mute button again.
Is it 31?
It is not 31. But I like what you said. And anybody else have another idea?
21.
So guys, I'm going to start plotting these points. We have 2, and the next one is 3, and then 3 and 5. And guys, if you drew a straight line, where does it get you to? Look at 15. And where
Right.
15 hits at what number, guys? Where does 15 hit? At what number? You can say it out loud if you see it.
Well, let's see. 1, 2.
13.
Well, let's
14.
look at 13. 13
14.
is actually right here at 713.
Nope.
The 7th odd number is 13. What is the 15th odd number?
15th odd number. Oh, I sure was home.
Wow, guys, there
1,
is
3,
a
5,
storm
7,
outside.
9. You just noticed.
That is cool.
1, 3, 5, 7,
Nice.
9,
For me too.
9.
Oh my God.
Thanks.
Uh-oh.
11, 13, 15, 17,
Guys, hold on 1 second. I'm going to be right back.
23, 25, 27. I think it's 27. 27. This. Where do I know? I'm sure on my note on the chat so I won't forget.
29. I remember. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's worse over there.
That is
It's on the front.
Gary Wynn. Did anybody figure out the 15th?
27?
odd number?
27?
Go for it, Rafa.
29.
Yes, guys, it's 29. Look at it.
29.
It literally is right on that line, and it points horizontally
Oh,
right
never mind. I
below
missed it.
30 and right
At
above
14.
28. So Adalia, you were just one
Okay.
off,
At the end of this shit, you have me in the garage.
one odd number off.
So sorry.
And
He wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
He's like, that's awesome.
Okay, whoever's having a conversation with a
What
parent,
happened?
please mute yourself. If you're having a conversation, guys, if you're having a conversation with a parent,
That one. In the fence. Yeah. Okay.
guys, wait, you know what? Isabella, I think I'm just gonna mute you. Okay, so guys, if you're having a conversation with a parent, it's really important that you mute yourself. Okay, so now I'm gonna ask you to very quickly go to page 8.
Hmm?
Everybody go to page 8. And in a couple of seconds, you should be able to plot 1, 5, 2, 10, 3, 15, and 4, 20, and see another beautiful picture of this sequence of
Let's
numbers.
just put it right here. No.
When we're done with this one, guys, we're gonna leave the world of straight lines, and we are gonna go to beautiful curves. Beautiful curves.
Since it kicked me out, so like, what do you mean by that?
I couldn't hear. I'm not sure who's speaking, and I can't hear you. So please repeat that.
It was Tessa who's speaking, and
Oh, hi, Tessa.
since it kicked me out, and like the connection's really bad, I couldn't really I didn't really know what you were saying, but
Oh, I'll repeat myself. Can you
okay,
go to page 8?
okay,
Go to page 8, and in a couple of seconds, I want you guys to plot 1, 5, and 2, 10, and 3, 15, and these are the multiples of 5. And if you use the method I just taught you, which is to draw a line connecting all of those points, you will see very easily how to find each point in just a few seconds. And it's really satisfying to actually draw that line and then to make all of these points right on that line all the way to 1575. So the 15th multiple of 5 is 75.
Oh, so like the first multiple of 5 is 1, so that's why the first multiple of 5 is 5, so that's why you did 1, 5.
Tessa, that is exactly right.
Okay,
Yeah.
I get it.
And I'm so glad you asked such a good clarifying question. That was awesome. That was awesome. So did everybody like plotting arithmetic sequences? Every one of the sequences we just plotted was an arithmetic sequence. We're not going to do that anymore. We are going to move to a different type of sequence of numbers. And I want you guys to take a journey with me. Not all of you, let's see. I'm gonna ask you guys to finish this up later, and I'm gonna push you now to a new graph. I want you guys to please go to page 12. So go to page 12. And don't go beyond page 12 for now. And I want you to look at this graph. Now, I'm going to give you guys a few points. I'm going to give you guys that point right there in blue. And I'm going to give you a point in green. And let me think. You know what? I'm also going to give you a point in red. Now, I am not going to define those points for you. I want you to draw parentheses, and I want you to define all 3 points, the ones that I've identified, and then I want you to see if you can solve the puzzle. What kind of a sequence is this?
Right.
Oh, and by the way, guys, notice that this is only for 4th graders up to 53rd graders. So if you're beyond 53rd grade, you shouldn't be doing it. And if you're lower than 4th grade, you shouldn't be doing it. I'm, by the way, in 53rd grade, just so you know. Just so you know.
Wait, so this is 10 to. This is 5, 1. Plus 10 to, and then you got 15.
So Isabella, did you lose your power? Isabella, did you lose your power?
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. You know, where do you live? What town?
Waffle.
Walpole, interesting. So I used to live in Dover, and we would lose our power every time there was a storm, which was, I think, a lot of fun. But that's all I'm saying.
Well, actually,
Now, who found the green point? Who wants to share the green point? Raise your hand electronically. Andy, go for it.
110.
Is it 1? So,
2.
well, if you look at the x-axis, what is it pointing to?
10.
So the first value is 10. It's the 10th term. And what is it pointing to on the y-axis, Andy?
100.
So you have to say 10, 100. And that is the green point. Who's going to give me the red point?
A red point would be.
Raise your hand electronically, please. Hannah, go for it.
15 and 200, 15 comma 225.
I completely agree. And who got, Adalia, do you have point the point blue?
I'm going to try to read my writing as I wrote with a really smudgy Sharpie. But
And I can
was
call on
2,400.
2,400. John, did you agree with that?
Yes.
And John, or anyone else, did you guys see any connections between these numbers? Who sees connections between these numbers? John, I'm gonna go with you first.
The first number goes up by 5. Like 10, 15, 20.
Agreed. And okay. And any other connections? Let's see. Cameron?
That It's fives, 10, 15, 25.
Yeah, I totally agree. In fact, so you're saying that 25, but the question is, what would it be? What would the value be at 25? Adalia, what do you think?
Five.
For 100, for 10, 10 times 10 is 100.
So 600.
Keep going.
And then 20 times 20 is 400.
Keep going.
So 15 times 15 is probably 225, but I didn't get that far.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Are you saying that
That's correct.
15, guys, watch this. 15 times 15. Everybody look up. Everybody look up at the screen. Ready? We know that 15 times 10 is what? Go ahead.
150.
And we know that 15 times 5 is what?
75.
75, yeah.
And when we add those together, what do we get?
225.
So, guys, isn't that a beautiful thing that Adalia looked at 10 and 100, 20 and 400 and said, wait a minute, those are 20 times 20 and 10 times 10. I bet that 15 times 15 is 225, and you bet right, Adalia. Now the question is, do you guys see a pattern
25
from
times
100
25
to
equals 6.
225 to 400 to whatever this is here? Cameron?
25 times the 25 would be 625.
And guys, nobody has actually said what these numbers are. What are they called, guys?
Consecutive.
Come on, they have, well, they're consecutive whats though?
Fives.
Do they all have fives in them? Yes. But guess what? This one doesn't.
There.
That one right there is like 981. Come on, guys, you heard Adalia say that 10 times 10 is 100.
Consecutive multiples.
What? No, not multiples.
Square numbers?
Yes.
Consecutive square.
Guys, these are square numbers. Now, everybody fill in every other point. So I want everybody right now to define every point on this group. For instance, that one right there is 1, 1. That one right there is 2, 4. And I want you guys to do every other point.
Because 1.
Guys, isn't that a beautiful curve? It really is a beautiful curve. Yeah, there's a parent talking in the background at somebody's house. If they could mute themselves, and if everybody else could unmute themselves, that'd be great. By the way, whoever just unmuted themselves, you did the right thing, but then you unmuted.
No bar. So this is 1, 1. There. Then this would be and then this would be I need a bigger piece of paper to use.
So what did you guys get for the third point?
Good point.
3 what?
3, 6.
No. 3 times 3,
9.
not 6.
9.
9. What about the fourth point?
416.
Fifth point,
525.
525.
and so forth. Now, stop a second, take a break. All right. The next, the blue line. What do you think the blue line represents? And what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to give you, just like I did with the square numbers, I'm going to give you some hints. But Rafa, did you have an idea?
Is it cube numbers?
Can you explain?
It's instead of like the a number times a number, it's like for if the number's 3, it would be 3 times 3 times 3 instead of 3 times 3.
So wait, so Rafa, that red dot that I just wrote, what point do you think that is? 3 what?
327. 3.
And who can tell me what this point is right here at 5? If these are cubic numbers, 5 times 5 times 5 is what, guys? And look at it. It's right there. Come on, that's got to be 50, 100,
125.
and 150. If you said 125, you totally rock. Who can tell me the fourth one? Which points right about there?
74.
Come on, 4 times 4 times 4, guys.
74.
75.
No,
4 times 4 times 4.
75 is a multiple of 5, 25, and 15. But not a multiple of 4.
64.
Of course, because it's 16 times 4. Very, very good. Now, a little bit of a fun fact for you guys. What would the 8th term be? All the way up here, the 8th term.
64 times 8.
And I think that's Alex. Is that Alexander? Who's thinking out loud there? I love it. Oh, that's Cameron? Cool.
64 times 8.
And all you have to do is double 64 3 times. Come on, Omer. I don't see you thinking.
64,
Come on, pick up that pencil. You should not be thinking in your head. Think with your pencil. Come on, double 64 3 times. Anybody able to double 64 3 times?
112.
Say it again, Hannah.
512.
And that is absolutely correct. Unfortunately, the 9th one is off of the screen. Is off of the screen. Andy, why don't you come back to us? Okay, unmute and video yourself. Tessa, you're good. Rafa, you can come back to us as well and take off your virtual background, please, as I've asked before. I want everybody now to please go to page 14.
Mr. Kramer,
Yes.
the virtual background is my Zoom profile picture, and I can't turn it off. I can only edit it.
Okay, so just if there's any way we could keep your video on, then that would be good. Okay, that way we don't have to look at that. So what I want you guys to do is go to page 14. Please go to page 14, and I want you to try to figure out what that sequence of numbers is. And I'm not going to identify those numbers just yet. I'm going to wait a little bit before I identify them.
Well, that point's about exactly this line, which would be 1, 0, 0, right? So,
And I want to just give you a little hint. It's very hard to see the first 3 or 4. It gets easier as you go higher and higher. Somebody's making a big tapping noise. If they could not do that, I'd appreciate it. There should not be any calculators going on here.
The tapping noise is probably somebody's computer.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying there should be nobody hitting their keys. That's not necessary during this.
So some people, maybe, what if they don't have like paper or something and they're typing it on Google Docs maybe?
No, they should be using pencil and paper. Everybody has paper,
Okay.
and that's the way we do it. But thank you, Alexander. I appreciate it. Now, does anybody have any ideas? Are you trying to estimate those values and trying to figure out what they might stand for? It's a pretty cool puzzle.
so that's about 3 is about.
And if I gave you the values, of course, it would give it away.
I think this is about. We're gonna hurry off.
Good. Andy, you're back. That's great. Love to see you. Andy, keep your video on if possible. Just don't hit that button. Also, hit the unmute button and keep it unmuted. Andy, can you do that? Yeah, just, Andy, don't hit the mute button. Omer, unmute yourself. Alexander, unmute yourself. It's just so much easier. Thank you. All right, so who's got some ideas? Does anybody have any estimates for any of the points? I have literally plotted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points. Does anybody have even one? Go for it, Adalia.
8, I think it's 26. It may be 27. 8,
All right.
27 or 26.
26. So Adalia, I'm going to go from 8. I'm going to go from 8 to that point, and then I'm going to go across. You sure you want to say 26? It's between 200 and 400.
Then 226, sorry.
Are you sure? Look at the increments. There are 4 increments in each, and each one is separated by 50. So 50, 100.
60?
Hannah, what do you think?
Maybe like 252 or something. Or
Now you're talking. So Adalia, do you see that? It's got to be more than 250, just slightly.
251.
Anybody else have any other conjectures? Andy, remember you were not going to touch the video or the mute button. If you could try to maintain that. I know people are fidgety and they touch things, but if you can not do that, that'd be awesome. And Does anybody, Tessa, do you have any points that you've estimated? Rafa, come on, Tessa, go.
So maybe
850.
Well, I could have done like. Wait, it didn't. Wait, hold on. It's like you're like frozen now.
Okay. It's probably your internet. Cameron, Rafa, Omer, not a single point. Cameron, go for it.
251.
Well, that's pretty close, but let's do another one. How about Rafa, Hannah? Go, go, go.
The 10th point is 1,000.
It's definitely more than 1,000 and less than 1,050.
I think I got it.
Oh.
Who's the I think I got it? Cameron.
10 is 1,025.
Very close.
1,000.
It's actually 1,024. And guys, did you try to find that guy, the 9th? What do you think that is? Come on, estimate it. 400, 450, 500,
9. Wait, sorry.
500 and
4, 515. No,
come on, guys.
it wasn't delivered.
It's 512.
That's close.
And let's look at the 7th number. Let's look at the 7th number. Look at the 7th, guys.
7 is 1.
Isn't it between 100 and 150? A little higher?
175.
It's between 100 and 150.
Okay.
A little higher than the center. Omer, I do not see you thinking. You think with your pencil.
127.
And it is 128 exactly. And now let's look at the 6th one.
6. It's fine.
Guys, it's slightly bigger than 50.
75.
Think about it. Look at the other
56.
numbers. It's a pattern. It's 6,64.
64. Wait.
And let's look at the 5th number.
No. 5th number.
Look at that, guys. Slightly bigger than 30.
532.
32. Yeah.
Guys, what are these numbers?
I can't have that.
1,024, 512, 256, 128, 64, 32,
120. Oh, that's
8,
12.
4,
2,
1. Guys, these are the powers of what? Powers of 2. Come on, guys, give me your hands right now. Open your hands like this. Stretch them out. Close them up. Give me a 2. Say 2.
2,
4,
4,
8,
8,
16. Come on, Rafa.
16.
2, 4. Wait, if everybody's not doing this, we're going to start over each time. So Rafa and Omer, let's go. 1, 2, 3, go. 2,
2,
4,
4, 8,
16,
16,
32,
64,
128,
128,
256,
256,
512,
12,
1024.
1024.
guys, this is the curve for powers of 2. And I put in your file another really cool one. I put powers of 3 in there that you should try, and then a challenge. This one here goes from 2,000 to 1,000 to 500 to 250 to 125, and it keeps going indefinitely. That one I think you'll have a lot of fun with. So I want you guys to understand that creating sequences of numbers aren't just fun from the standpoint of writing the numbers. It's drawing geometric pictures and curves to go with those numbers. I think these curves are beautiful. I'm really amazed at some of the curves that I see here. And we're going to explore these even further next week. So have some fun with it. Say goodbye to your buddies, okay? And we'll see you in exactly 167 hours.
Almost.
But that is only if tomorrow I don't get blown away to sea, because I am going kite in a 30-mile-an-hour wind. Actually, it's going to be 33 miles an hour. And I'm a little nervous, but you don't take a risk, you don't gain anything. So I hope you guys have a great day tomorrow. Stay safe. If you're going kiting, you guys should probably use a kite that's about the size of my computer, okay? Because the wind is going to be so strong. So be careful, and I'll see you guys in a week's time.
Bye.
Bye.